Hello and welcome to Scribes and Songsters. I'm Veronique Mandal. I have two guests joining me today. Both are members of the Rose City Writers, a writing group based in Windsor. Olga Kassimova is the founder of this vibrant group of local writers, and Dominique Sahia Walls is not only a member of the group, but she's recently released her second novel, Sexy Off Stage. Welcome to Scribes and Songsters.
Thank you.
Okay, now both of you attended the Romance Writers conference just recently.
Yes.
Yeah, you met at the first. This is their second one,
This
right?
is their second one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what did you think of it? Because I had, hoped that I'd be able to go, but I didn't. So was it valuable?
Yeah, it was an honor to attend.
Yes.
Dom had a table. I did
did.
not. I did not. Actually, something that we frequently get confused with each other just because our names are so similar. But we unfortunately have no, affiliation with the Rose City Romance Conference. Kate Smoke is the one who organizes that, and she certainly deserves all the credit for it.
Yeah.
She works so hard.
So how does it work? Do all of the writers get to talk to each other?
There's a day on Friday where the writers can come for some workshops and they can get to know each other. And then at night, there's a VIP night where VIP readers can come and talk to the authors, and the authors can network with each other as well.
Yeah. How did you meet?
Rose City Romance.
Yeah, we did meet at that conference. So I gave Dom my card. When I went there, I was asking every author all these questions about their book, about their experiences. And when I found out that Dom was from Windsor, I was like, please come out and join us. And I'm really glad you did.
I'm so happy that I did.
So I mentioned that you're the founder of a writers group.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to start it?
Yeah, well, I always gravitated towards writing, and for the longest time, I didn't feel good enough to become the writer that I wanted to be, which was like a fiction novelist. I had a lot of misconceptions about what it took to be a novelist or like the education process behind it. And I really wanted to create a community where other new writers can meet people and learn and grow together and kind of enable people with the tools and the confidence to do what they want to do with their writing journey.
So how did you get it started? Did you know writers that you called and said, hey?
No, I was looking for a writers group. And I remember I was on a front porch talking with my friend who's a member of our writers group. And I was like, listen, why don't we just meet up once a month, the two of us, and we'll just write together. And that way we hold each other accountable. And we were going to Chow Cafe for our very first one. And we ended up with 5 people there just through word of mouth of being like, hey, I'm just going to go to this cafe to write. Can I come with you? So our first one, we had 5 people, and
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It was such a wonderful moment of like, oh my gosh, there really are more people here. I thought we were going to be the two of us for the first year at least, and someone was like, oh, we should communicate through Discord. We got a Discord server. Someone said, I want to do critique group. We started a critique group, and it just really snowballed into this multifaceted but group.
So how did you get involved in it? So you met Olga?
Yes, I met Olga. I've been writing for a few years seriously, but I did not know there was a community in Windsor. All of my writing friends were online.
Oh, really?
And while it's nice, it is a bit lonely to only be able to type to someone. So when Olga introduced herself and said she had a writers group, I got really excited. And so as soon as I was available, I messaged her to come out to an event. And it was just so welcoming and open and amazing and great conversations and motivating.
People often say writing is a sort of a solitary thing. But it isn't always, is it? You need other writers.
Yeah. Yes.
I think it's so important to know that you're not alone on your journey.
Absolutely.
And a lot of writers have very similar struggles that I think it's nice that they can relate to. We were doing our last workshop on critiquing, and one of our members raised their hand and kind of said, "Hey, I'm really struggling with self-editing. What can I do to really get out of my head when I'm editing?" And everyone chimed up. They're like, "Oh, I find it's helpful to change the font of your manuscript. I find it's helpful to step away for a month. I uploaded my book to KDP and got an early, one of those not for release copies, not pre-order, but
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And reading it in a book format instead of on a computer was very helpful. So it was such a wonderful moment of really just seeing just seeing people come together and help each other.
And I found that I learned more about writing through writer friends than I did through books. So having people read my work and offer me advice and tell me what they do and what works for them. I remember the first time I had someone read my book, they were like, "Girl, you got to put a comma after if you're going to say he said, it's not a period." And I was like, oh, okay. And then it just grew from there.
Yeah. Oh, the amount of people I feel like the amount of people I feel like they can't be writers because they're scared of writing, spelling and grammar is astounding. It breaks my heart a little, to be honest.
I mean, I understand. I took English 7 times in high school.
I went to an all French grade school. I did not take an English class until high school.
Oh my gosh.
No. It was brutal. It still is a little brutal. No one read my first draft.
What's the tone of the critique in the group? Is it a positive tone? I mean, because sometimes if you have harsh critiques, it can be really devastating.
Yes.
Of course. So we actually talk a little bit about our critiquing process on our website, because that's a concern that a lot of members have. The other thing that we have in place to help with our members is anyone who wants to join the critique group has to come to at least one other event prior to joining our critique group. Come, meet the people, make sure you guys get along, just because we try to be so respectful with how personal sharing your work can be. Something that we're always very careful to ask is what kind of feedback you're looking for.
Yes, I'm going to say that's really, they ask you what you're looking for so that you're not just saying they're wanting to know the vibe and you're like, you know what, I absolutely hated this character.
Yeah. And we do have members who really, they're be harsh, but we have other people who are just tell me where you think the story's going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we have which I think our group is generally very respectful on that front. We've never had really any issues, fortunately. And I think it's because we go in really asking people to set their expectations. But our critique group is one part of what we do. It's actually probably, it's mighty, but it's probably the smallest part of what we do. We try to limit our critique groups to 6 people to make sure that everyone has a chance to really speak and feel heard. But our other events are more inclusive in the fact that we can have 20 to 30 people. Yeah.
What was the most valuable thing for you
in the critiques?
In the critiques?
I think the investment. It wasn't a comment, it was a conversation. So if somebody would note on something, somebody would bounce off of that, and then it'd become a whole conversation about the character, their journey, or what they liked about something. So it wasn't just one short sentence. It was being built upon. So you really had a chunk to go home with and look at.
Did you ever have a moment where you thought, ooh, that's harsh. I like that character?
No. I can take a lot of harsh criticism, but I've never found the criticism to be harsh. It's always come from a good place. And it's almost those 2 positives and one thing I might suggest, not even a negative, oh, I love this. I think that maybe you should try this. And so it's never harsh. It's very inclusive and kind and mostly funny. The way the conversations go with my last
we're rowdy.
I submitted. I think it was an hour of us discussing who the girl was going to end up with.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I think something that I like about the group too is sometimes instead of saying I would change this, or I didn't like that, is like, this is how I interpreted that. And then that gives you as the author to say, okay, that's what I intended, or, oh, wait, no, that was not what I intended. How can I change it to what was intended? Because I think, like, as an example, is your character did something and I'm like, well, this tells me she's reckless.
Yes.
That's how I interpreted that. If you were like, yeah, that's what I wanted. That, like, I think that's what you said, right? That it like summed up. You're like, oh, perfect. Okay. Then it was on point.
Yeah. Because sometimes your characters, you take the character in one direction, someone else can read it and see it in going in a different direction, and then you sort of think, well, I really like that direction, but now I've got something to think about.
Yeah, definitely. There are some things in the last critique that got brought up about the book that I'm working on that really had me reconsidering some plot points, because things that were brought up, I was like, oh, I like that. Like her bringing up the fact that the character was reckless. And it made me take a look at the outline again and see if this is like a continued thing, if this is something that's going to come up in the story, how it can be explored, or if it's something that I should redirect early.
Now, so you've written 2 books. And we'll discuss them in a minute. But now, do you both consider yourselves romance writers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to ask you about the writers group. Is it just romance, or is it all genres?
Absolutely all genres. Oh my gosh, we have, and not even just fiction novels. We have actually quite a few screenplay writers, and we have 2 writers working on Fringe Fest. They're the scripts for Fringe Fest plays. We have some people do comic books. We have one person who's actually doing a workshop at the end of this month on collaborative writing, who entirely does role playing, like just online role playing. She has and no intention of publishing, and she just comes for the writing in the community, and that's her medium.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Yeah.
So are you, I think maybe my producer said you might be writing a book?
I am, yes. So it's in the editing process. It's scheduled to be published in February next year. And it is a romance. It is an
amazing romance.
Well, there's a critique.
Yes, it's a bioethical sci-fi romance. So it's it's kind of fun. It's about a university student who got a scholarship to this prestigious university where all of her peers are genetically modified to be perfect, and it kind of deals with the discovery, the experience of self-discovery, and like societal standards of beauty and intelligence and wealth versus like who you are as a person and trying to be true to yourself. I'm really excited.
You should be. Everyone should be excited.
That's great. Takes a lot of research.
Yes. It was a fun learning journey about just a genetic cloning. Different ethical dilemmas are explored throughout the book. Cloning. I learned a lot about like the ethics and the science behind cloning. It's a lot of fun.
Your first book was called Steamy on Set.
Yes.
Now, are the characters in that book, are they carried over into your second book? Because I thought I recognized a couple of names in the first book, because I read the second one first. And then I went back and I read the other one. And I thought, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
They sound familiar.
Yeah, it's an interconnected series, but they're standalones as well. So you can read them in any order. But yeah, the characters all follow through. It's about a group of messy friends kind of finding their romances. So the first book starts with Farah, and then you meet her best friend Monty in that book. And then the second book is about Monty's romance.
So let's talk about Monty. She's a very interesting character.
I hope so.
Did she have a model? Did you model her on someone?
Yeah, I modeled her on a few people. I would say I modeled her on my best friend and myself. We both have always said we're independent to a fault. And we were both raised by single mothers. So it definitely impacted the way that we viewed relying on men and being independent women and being able to connect emotionally. So I really took from our past relationships and the struggles we had to get to that character of like what it would look like if an independent woman really had to rely on someone.
Mm-hmm. And so your development of her, and she's a dancer.
Yes.
And you make a point of saying that she's a plus size woman.
Yes.
So why was it important to make sure we understood her entire character and what she looked like?
As a plus size woman myself, I wanted diversity that wasn't always about the plus size woman being sad or the plus size woman being niche, or I feel like a lot of characters, especially in the early 2000s, all fell into like one category. And I think with the introduction of things like Lizzo, we are seeing that plus size people are capable of a lot. Like Lizzo can do a 2-hour concert where she's dancing. So I wanted to show that there's a plus size dancer out there who can be successful and sexy and strong and still have a body that is not necessarily acceptable in society.
The other thing, your character had mixed race parents.
Yes.
And that was a struggle.
Yes. I have 21st cousins. I would say probably 6 of us are monolithically Black. So all of my cousins are mixed, and I've seen various journeys with having mothers who aren't Black and the way that's impacted their lives, both positively and negatively. And so it's something I wanted to explore in this book.
The character in the book had a troubled relationship with the father.
Yeah, and a part of it came from Black men in the community not so much considering their partners and how they may affect their Black children. Mm-hmm. So it creates a complicated relationship between the child and the parent. And so I wanted to explore that in some ways, he's a really great parent. And in some ways, he failed her by not addressing his own internalized racism.
Mm-hmm. If I could say, because I've read both your books, I was so impressed with Sexy Off Stage. With I liked both. Don't get me wrong, I was a fan of both of them. But there was such a level of depth to Monty's character, as she felt so real as a person who was so talented and independent, but so flawed and had so much room for growth. And then even the dad, who was so good in some ways and flawed in his own ways, felt so rounded and real as a result of that. And
yes, it's true, because often a father in a troubled relationship, he's often not given his due, especially if the writing is trying to not make him look like a bad guy or a really good guy, but you made him real.
Yeah, that's important. I think one of the things that's important to me in my book is that I don't think anybody is universally good or universally bad. And I think you can be a good parent and be flawed. And I wanted to show that.
And of course, the overarching aspect of the character was her diagnosis.
Yes.
Where did that come from? What made you decide that you would give her that?
It started with a statistic I read that it was something like 80% of women who get cancers, husbands leave them. And so it's such a rough time for a woman. And it's the idea of what if there was a man who not only stayed, but showed up at the start of it. And then also my mom had cancer last year. So I was kind of writing for her as well.
Because it is a grim time. And I mean, the statistic you just quoted is staggering.
Yeah.
Scary.
It's very scary.
Yeah. Okay, the two characters. You've got a Black guy and a white guy, and they're both very interesting. I thought at the beginning, because of her attitude, that she would definitely stick with the Black guy.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say whether or not she does, because people should read it. But you know how you sort of, you think that because she's got all of these issues with the white mother and all these very much considered issues, and you went into those feelings and relationships with great depth, that you're not sure if she's going to give this white guy a chance at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in an interracial relationship myself. My partner's Turkish. And I think there's a lot of complexities that go into being in an interracial relationship. And you can't date a person of color without first addressing the racism that exists in the world and how that impacts me and how that impacts him. And so that really is a part of Monty's misbelief, is her relationship with racism affects how she believes that all people are. And her addressing her own trauma allows her to be able to be in something that is as complicated as being in a mixed race relationship.
Because she's a very strong character. And the dialogue is between her and her friends. I mean, it's really quite funny. It's profound in many respects, but it's also really funny because she's got this very interesting part of her where she's determined, but it's almost like she's not taking herself overly seriously, even though she's got sort of very dogmatic attitudes.
Yeah. I can completely understand how Monty could come across that way. Yeah.
So I always love to ask, do you have a favorite character?
Callahan.
No hesitation.
Callahan is a walking green flag.
So I probably shouldn't say who he is.
I think if you look at the cover, you might be able to guess.
I think so too. Who was your favorite character in the book?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't want to be like just like Callahan because he's so cute. He's so cute, and he's
okay. So we can't not talk about the raw sex in the book. Steam. Is there a place where you go to learn how to write this, or does it come out of your head? Now think before you answer.
I think it's a mix of being inspired by reading other romance stories and like things that come out of my own head, and then things that I think are reflective of the character. Like a lot of times when I'm creating characters for a romance book, I decide what they enjoy in a sex life or what they seek from sex. And so that helps me kind of come up with the scenes that are crucial to the plot.
Does a romance have to have steamy sex today? Because I often think back to remember the early years of Harlequin romance. It would just hint at it, right? And you were never sure whether they really did it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting, if you don't mind me answering this question, because I've been doing a lot of research in this. I'm actually doing a workshop on romance in June, and just the different aspects of the genre that is unique compared to other genres. And it really comes down to expectations of the reader, but different subgenres will absolutely, like a lot of Regency romance won't necessarily have as much spice as contemporary romances. You have a lot of religious romances, Amish romances, right? They lean towards less spicy. They get married first. It could be like you'll get like the grazing of the hand. It's all about the tension, the romantic tension, occasionally sexual tension, but it depends on how the writer decides to like ingrain that in there. But absolutely, and there's different terms for it. Some people call it clean romance. There's closed door romance. So people are able. That's why I don't know if you've ever seen the like hot pepper ratings from those book talks. Yes, that's why we have like those are prevalent because different readers have different tastes.
Right. Now, when you're having discussions in your group, do they talk about the sex?
No.
Or is it more character driven?
It's more character driven. I've never submitted a sex scene, and I don't think I ever would submit a sex scene.
Right.
Because people have very different relationships with sex.
Right.
So I don't think it's something that would ever come up in the group.
It depends. Like I think alpha readers, when I would do alpha reads, I used to kind of submit chapter by chapter. As how I did it for Significant Expression, my book. And to be honest, I didn't put in a lot of the sex until after the first, like the alpha readers had already read it. And then I went back when I did self edits, I decided, okay, how spicy do I want this to be? And then that way I could determine with the characters. I actually had a lot of trouble determining that until like after the book came together. I'm like, actually, okay, this is where I want this. This is how we're going to like create a sort of escalation of things over the course of the book. So Not necessarily. I think actually beta readers would probably be, because
Yeah.
you want, theoretically, our critique group has a bunch of different variety of readers, which is really good for different insights. But with something as personal as Sex and Spice, you'd probably want your ideal reader to be someone who's
Right.
looking at it.
Plus, with the critique group, you're submitting one chapter. And so there's a lot of context missing outside of that.
Mhm.
And for a sex scene in a book, it has to make sense. So you have to understand a lot of things to understand why this sex scene is taking place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think that a lot of books, there's for sure erotica, right? Where the whole point is the titillation and the sex. But I think with a lot of romance, the sex is usually a reflection of developing of emotional intimacy, of trust. And it's the result of a relationship, not occasionally, like depends on obviously what you're writing.
Right.
But it ties into like your character's beliefs about
Yeah.
themselves, about others. So this like the sex is more than just what it is.
Yes.
It's a reflection of the themes and the emotional development of the characters.
Yeah, absolutely. You won't believe this, but we've got 30 seconds left.
Oh my gosh.
So I need to ask you, where can people buy your book?
Okay, they can buy my books on Amazon currently. It's also on Kindle Unlimited if they would like to read it and give it a try before purchasing the full thing. And then also at different events, like I'm going to be at Royal City Romance. I'm going to be at Pages and Pleasures. So you can come and buy the book there as well.
Awesome. And where can people find out about
Absolutely.
your writers group?
So we have an Instagram page, Rose City Writers. We also have our website, rosecitywriters.weebly.com, with all of our information there. And we have a newsletter, which I'm really excited about, which people can sign up from the website, which will give you all of our events a month. We usually do 3 to 4 events a month.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry we could have chatted on for another half an hour.
We talked so much. Sorry.
Oh no, it's been just grand. Thank you both.
Thank
Thank
you for
you.
having us. Thank you.
And that's all they wrote for this edition of Scribes and Songsters. A big thank you to our wonderful guests, Olga Kassimova and Dominique Walls. Many thanks to our Scribes and Songsters team, producer Brian Sweet and technical producer and editor Gary Glass. Grateful thanks to Tony Toldo and the Toldo Foundation, and to Neil and Tina Quering for their support. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you soon, right back here on Scribes and Songsters. I'm Veronique Mandal. Bye for now.